You're watching KSG News, where you get all the latest updates from across the globe to help with your exam preparations. We begin with GS Paper 3. This relates to energy. India is now one of the world's top markets for solar energy. A new report by the International Solar Alliance on the 24th of February 2021 said that India is now one of the world's top markets for solar energy. The report, called Ease of Doing Solar 2020, identified countries that were high solar energy performers in 2020. The report is a continuation of the pilot study conducted for 4 member countries in 2019, which has now been expanded to cover 80 countries with a refined evaluation framework. Now, what is this all about? ISA, or the International Solar Alliance, is a joint initiative of France and India launched during COP21 with the aim of making an unprecedented effort to promote solar energy. The goal of ISA is to set the ground rules, norms, and standards for solar energy in order to obtain a rapid and massive deployment in countries that are rich in solar resources but where the risks are still seen as high. Using data across its 80 member countries, ISA reveals the world's easiest markets to execute and invest in solar projects. Owing to its strong potential, ambitious sustainability targets, high solar irradiation, and robust power infrastructure, India has emerged as a leading performer along with countries like Brazil, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. The report lists countries like Rwanda, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, Argentina, Egypt, and 24 others as having moderately favorable conditions for solar investments. Countries such as Bangladesh, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and several others have been listed as progressive states that are in initial stages of development of a favorable ecosystem. The report highlights the best practices in policy and regulation among member countries. It is also of particular importance to international financing institutions, as the data reveals the countries that have transparent and infrastructure-ready regimes supported by investor-friendly markets. So, what does this report provide? It provides a snapshot of the progress made by the member countries by using an evaluation framework consisting 7 key indicators: macroeconomy, policy enablers, technical feasibility, market maturity, infrastructure, financing ecosystem, and energy imperatives. Globally, the ISA aims to undertake joint efforts to reduce the cost of finance and the cost of technology and mobilize large-scale investment in the solar sector. It plans to launch a World Solar Bank at the United Nations Annual Global Climate Summit COP26, scheduled to take place in Glasgow, the UK, in November this year. In some more updates related to the GS Paper 2, Ghana became the first country on the 24th of February to receive a batch of free anti-coronavirus vaccine doses through the COVAX initiative, a shot-sharing scheme behind the inoculation drive in poorer countries. The shipment of 6 lakh AstraZeneca doses was the first step in immunizing the West African nation of 30 million. The shipment, WHO said, is part of the first wave of vaccine deliveries headed to several low and middle income countries. COVAX aims to ship close to 2 billion doses of vaccines by the end of 2021 in an unprecedented global effort to guarantee access to vaccines for all. COVAX is an international program led by the UN's World Health Organization, the Gavi Vaccine Alliance, and the Coalition of Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, or the CEPI. It was launched in June 2020 in a bid to prevent poorer nations missing out on COVID-19 vaccines, as wealthier nations secured billions of doses for their populations. Shifting focus to GS Paper 3, this is in connection with Digital Mission. The central government launched National Urban Digital Mission to create a digital infrastructure for cities in the country. The Union Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry said the move will institutionalize a citizen-centric and ecosystem-driven approach to urban governance and service delivery in cities by 2022 and across all cities and towns by 2024. Now, what does this exactly mean? Union Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri and Minister of Electronics and IT 2020, Ravi Shankar Prasad launched the National Urban Digital Mission at a virtual event. Other initiatives: India Urban Data Exchange, Smart Code, Smart Cities 2.0 website, and Geospatial Management Information System or the GMIS were also launched at the event. The NUDM or the National Urban Digital Mission will create a shared digital infrastructure that can consolidate and cross-leverage the various digital initiatives of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, enabling cities and towns across India to benefit from holistic and diverse forms of support in keeping with their needs and local challenges. Government also stated that other initiative, India Urban Data Exchange, has been developed in partnership between the Smart Cities Mission and the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. The IUDX or the Indian Urban Data Exchange serves as a seamless interface for data providers and data users, including the ULBs, to share, request, and access data sets related to cities, urban governance, and urban service delivery. IUDX is an open source software platform which facilitates secure, authenticated, and managed exchange of data amongst various data platforms, third-party authenticated and authorized applications, and other sources. On Smart Code, the MOHUA said that it is a platform that enables all ecosystem stakeholders to contribute to a repository of open source code for various solutions and applications for urban governance. It is designed to address the challenges that ULBs face in the development and deployment of digital applications to address urban challenges by enabling cities to take advantage of existing codes and customizing them to suit local needs rather than having to develop new solutions from scratch. And in some more updates related to the GS Paper 2, this is in connection with multilateralism. India hosted the first meeting of the BRICS finance and central bank deputies of 2021 in virtual mode on the 24th of February 2021. India had assumed the BRICS chairship for this year at a time when the organization, formed by the nations of Brazil, India, Russia, China, and South Africa, was celebrating its 15th anniversary. Now, what is the significance of this? The priorities of the year set by India included the global economic outlook and response to COVID-19 and social infrastructure financing. The issues discussed ranged from the activities of the New Development Bank, fintech for small and medium enterprises, financial inclusion, and the BRICS Contingent Reserve Arrangement, which is a framework for the provision of support through liquidity and precautionary instruments in response to actual or potential short-term balance of payments pressures. Other participants included BRICS finance and central bank deputies of Brazil, Russia, China, and South Africa. India's approach is focused on strengthening collaboration through continuity, consolidation, and consensus. It was earlier reported that Chinese President Xi Jinping may visit India in the second half of the current year to attend the BRICS leaders meet in New Delhi if it is done physically. The visit will especially be watched given the fact that the armies of the two countries just ended a months-long standoff in eastern Ladakh after hectic negotiations. And now we move on to updates related to the GS Paper 3. This is connected to cyber attack. India was second on the list of Asia-Pacific countries which faced the most cyber attacks in 2020. This is according to a new report by IBM Security X-Force. India faced 7% of all attacks in Asia in the previous year, with Japan on top. Globally, Europe was the most affected continent, with over 31% attacks accounted for, and majority being ransomware attacks. As per the 2021 X-Force Threat Intelligence Index, finance and insurance was the most affected sector in India as it faced 60% of the attacks. In 2020, most of the attacks on companies in India were observed from May to July period. Cyber attackers took advantage of the conditions created by the COVID-19 pandemic globally and targeted sectors like hospitals, medical and pharmaceutical manufacturers, and others as companies. The reason was that these sectors were part of the COVID-19 supply chain and could not afford downtime and thus had to pay off the ransomware eventually. The report also includes the top 10 list of the most spoofed brands of the year. Google was the most spoofed brand, followed by Dropbox, YouTube, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Adidas, Microsoft, PayPal, and WhatsApp. The report mentions that the data collected is based on insights and observations from monitoring over 150 billion security events per day in more than 130 countries. That's it in this video from our side. Stay tuned for more such informative, short and concise videos.